All right, welcome to Sports Talk, the Generation Gap. Today we're going to have another enlightening conversation, this time about what sport has the best athletes. So, what sport has the best athletes? Who has the first take?
Well, you got to define your criteria for athlete. I think most conventional wisdom would tend towards the easily measured factors like 40-yard dash time, vertical leap, some other things, hand-eye coordination, quickness, reflexes, and whatnot. But if you measure it in terms of being successful, winning in a sport, then you may take other factors into consideration. The ability to anticipate, to react mentally to a situation, to spot an opening when it's there as opposed to when it's closed. You think of the Wayne Gretzky slogan, pass the puck to where, or skate to where the puck is going to be, that sort of thing. And that's obviously a mental trait, a psychological trait, but critically important and maybe most important of all. But again, it boils down to the particular sport and what you have to do. So I'll open it with that.
I'm going to
rather
go
than
with
identifying a specific sport.
I'm going to go with my gut on this one. Just having watched a lot of sports and sort of like the ooh and the ah. I have to say that a skilled NBA player, basketball, is pretty damn athletic. Because I think they bring into play all the skills that Bob just mentioned. They're also phenomenally strong, fast. I think if you put them in the traditional President's Physical Fitness Test contests, they would score incredibly well. As opposed to some other sports, depending on position, of course, you could be lacking in some basic skills, including eye-hand coordination or just basic coordination, and get away with it. Whereas I think in basketball, it's everything. And you look at the most skilled players, obviously Michael Jordan's sort of the extreme, but the guy could do everything. And most really good basketball players can do a bit of everything. They could have played other sports as well. So that'd be my gut tells me.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of raw talent in basketball, raw athletic ability. There's also a lot of flopping in basketball, especially the NBA. A lot of load management in the NBA. Again, the answer always comes back to hockey. First, you got to learn how to skate.
Bobby, this isn't a
you got to learn how to skate first.
Oh my gosh! Okay, go ahead.
And then after that, you have to have the size, speed, skill, athleticism, vision, mental acuity to react and play. The fastest game on earth, other than racing. All that being said, the answer might actually be decathlon athletes because you're doing 10 sports in one for the Olympics. So,
well, I don't think any of us argue the decathletes are pretty sensational athletes. There's no question about it. Yeah. They bring everything into play. So
if you're just talking about the pure athlete, what's the best athlete? It's hard to argue against decathletes. It's pretty.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if someone's played devil's advocate with those athletes, the only thing that they could diss them on would be the fact that they're not good enough at any of those events to do it solely, and so they just happen to be pretty good at a bunch of different events. But yeah, I mean, obviously they're great athletes.
I mean, I guess you ask yourself if Michael Jordan had been a focused, determined decathlete, what could he have done? Probably done pretty damn well. He's good at everything.
Well, he wasn't quite good enough at baseball, but
but he played pro baseball.
He did make it to the
minor league there. He did play professional baseball.
He never made major leagues though.
As a hobby.
Although he
I mean,
found out he couldn't hit, which is why he didn't stay in the pro.
Yeah, and that might actually be the best individual skill of an athlete is hitting a baseball. It doesn't get much harder than that.
It is
As
phenomenal.
far as any individual skill there is in sports, hitting a baseball at the major league level is, next to impossible. So
Oh,
I mean, I know that former Orioles pitcher Mark Hendrickson played in the NBA, but he was also a pitcher, so he wasn't hitting. But he did play Major League Baseball.
Mhm.
Although, I mean, Bo Jackson's a great example. NFL, a star with the Royals.
Yeah.
He could hit. So
yeah. He
Deion
did it
Sanders.
part time. It kind of flies in the face of Bobby's argument about being able to hit the ball because, I mean, but let's face it, he didn't spend much time with a bat in his hands trying to measure how to hit a ball. He just,
yeah, well, some guys just have natural talent.
Yeah, he just had natural ability.
I mean, I feel like gymnasts probably you could make a good argument for them. I mean, there's not many people that could do all those flips and all the crazy stuff that they do.
Well, and that brings some other considerations into play. Gymnasts are not big people, and
Yeah.
that's one of the aspects of gymnastics that makes it very unusual.
No, I'm going to go after this one too. I think gymnasts are great athletes, right?
Yeah,
I mean, they could do more than any of us could by far, right?
yeah,
But by the same token, if you put a tennis racket or a golf club in a lot of gymnasts' hands, including some gymnasts I know that were pretty accomplished gymnasts,
hmm
they can't even make contact with it.
yep, yep.
So I think it may be more limited in scope in terms of what they can put on the table. That's why I kind of look to say something like things like basketball players because they have to do everything. I think hockey players have to do a lot, but I don't think as much. That's my limited knowledge of what it takes to
Yeah.
play hockey, and
Um,
having known some pretty high level hockey players.
Yeah.
And I will say that Chris Chelios was a fantastic athlete, not just a hockey player. Chris Chelios was a fantastic athlete, but not all the guys I knew were as skilled athletically as him.
Well, hockey brings up another attribute, and that is stamina and concentration and sheer grit. I do think hockey players are the hardest working athletes at any level. Those games demand an awful lot.
Did you ever play Chelios in anything in college?
Maybe drinking games.
Beer pong.
That takes a lot of athletic skill, especially
Well, it
late
takes a
into
lot
the
of
night.
punting. See, it takes a lot of things that the average athlete doesn't take into consideration, but are very important.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like there's probably a number of different sports professionals that you could go to. I mean, I'm obviously in terms of what's at stake and how important your athletic ability is just for mere survival. You can make a good argument for UFC to be pretty amazing athletes because literally you could get killed if you're not an incredible athlete, and everything is on the line. You don't get second chances to prevent yourself from getting knocked out. So.
It's true from a survivalist standpoint. They might be the top of the food chain.
And also just talking pure talent, you got the hot dog eating champions. That's a lot of skill.
Yeah.
There was a guy from Shawnee, I guess it was this past weekend in the regional competition who some like 21-year-old kid ate 25 hot dogs in I think 10 minutes.
Okay.
And so
that's why I've always felt my pie eating championships were totally underappreciated.
So he advanced to the
Probably.
finals in New York this weekend. So
Yeah.
he'll be facing off against Joey Chestnut.
Yeah.
Well, he's stepping into a different league.
Yeah,
he is.
25 is not enough.
No. That may not even qualify you to get.
Yeah, I mean, it's impressive for an average person to do that.
Yeah.
But if you're gonna be a pro, that's another level. So
Yeah. Yeah. Soccer requires a great deal of athleticism and stamina and coordination and anticipation. The things those guys do with their feet are simply baffling. I mean, the fluidity um, is incredible.
Yeah, a lot of skill with soccer players. Um, Also, a lot of pretending to be injured.
Well, yes,
Lying on
that it surpasses the
so
NBA in terms of
until
flops.
they get that out of the game,
Yeah.
they're disqualified.
Yeah, that's a ongoing issue for sure, and there are certain countries that I think exhibit that problem more than others. I've noticed that some of the European countries, like Italy, has kind of always had a reputation for a lot of flopping. So,
Huh.
I remember playing Italians in Amsterdam and like just an adult soccer league, and the amount of flopping I saw from the Italian teams was just ridiculous. Like, I was
Really?
like, it's like you're playing an adult league, acting like you get shot when someone touches you.
Yeah.
It's like,
Wow. So there must have been refs who would call it.
yeah, yes, we had refs, and they
Huh.
were blowing the whistle for these guys. They're just acting like you touch them, they're, like,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
we're playing adult league soccer. Are you kidding me? Come on, but
Well, that suggests a whole different topic for another
Right.
time.
And that is character of athletes.
Yeah, and officiating,
apparently-
quality of officiating.
Well, officiating and just the sheer just the character of someone to feign injury and whatnot. I mean, that's really disappointing.
I mean, we've seen erosion in all sports in terms of sportsmanship and individual integrity. I mean, it's just about in any sport now. If you can fool the ref or the ump, that's considered a good thing.
I would say in football, a lot of that's because that's the way a coach calls his player out to do that. Occasionally,
Sure.
you see that in basketball too. Certainly, guys are always pretending they got fouled. They didn't touch the other guy when he fouled.
Yeah.
But that runs across all team sports.
Chelios was real good at drawing penalties throughout his career. He wasn't flopping on the ice, but he was real good at grabbing a guy's stick and bringing it up, make it look like it was a high stick or something like that. He was real savvy with it, and it helped out the Red Wings a lot during his time there. I remember that. So he was good at it.
No, a good friend of mine played. He was all pro football player many times over. Played for the Cowboys, and he said he was the master of holding and not getting caught.
Okay.
And he said that was a true art. That's what separated him from the other guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like in hockey they don't complain as much to the refs though, in a lot of other sports. I feel like
whole time.
Not as much. I mean, it certainly happens, but not nearly as much as you'll see in other sports, or at least not in a way that seems constant and white.
Yeah.
Like you're not going to see a Luka Doncic in the NHL that's every other play is asking the ref for a call.
Yeah.
Don't you think part of that's though because there's just no time to do that?
That's part of it. The only
minutes.
time you can do it is a stoppage of play. You can't
Exactly.
You have to do games way too fast to try and do it mid play. So
right.
Plus, sometimes in hockey they settle things among the players,
Yeah.
rather than leaving it up to the refs.
That's right.
Yeah, if you take a cheap shot, they don't call it. They'll get you back.
Who would you say is like the greatest athlete then ever? If we're just talking about individual people now, moving on from just sports in general.
No, that's Gretzky. It's not even a question. Most dominant player in the history of sports.
Gretzky.
Do you
Talking
agree with
60
that?
plus records.
Well, he was a hell of a hockey player.
He's a hockey player. He's all right. He's pretty good.
Hockey,
He actually
hockey,
wanted
I
to
thought
play
he was
baseball
really good.
as a kid, but he was that was his favorite sport early in his life. But obviously, he was much better at hockey. So
Well, I didn't catch all that, Bob. What was his favorite sport early on?
baseball.
Baseball. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he probably would have fared well in baseball.
He would have been okay.
Yeah.
But obviously, he chose the right sport.
Maybe not. Maybe we've been better in baseball. John, do you agree with Gretzky being the greatest athlete ever?
No, but that's not to say he wouldn't be one of the very best.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, he was I'd say a pretty classy athlete too.
Yeah.
I mean, for a sport full of like guys with lower IQs and goons, I mean, I thought he was pretty classy.
What about you, Bob? Who do you think is the greatest athlete of all time?
That's a really tricky question.
And don't you dare say Johnny Unitas.
Okay, so well, let's go down. Let's slide down to number 2 then. Um, that's again that gets back to exactly what traits you want to emphasize, but I'm kind of aligned with John. I'd have to talk about Michael Jordan, and it's not just all the raw talent that he brought to it, but his ability to take control of games and to win games, especially when it mattered the most,
Right.
was phenomenal, just phenomenal.
Well, there's a lot of debate among NBA fans about who the best basketball player is of all time, which I agree is Jordan. There is no debate in hockey. So he's far
Yeah.
above everyone else.
Yeah. Well, I think fans get a better look at individual attributes in basketball than probably any other sport, and that probably benefits basketball players in this context.
Sure.
The skills in hockey or football or whatnot are often a little more subtle, and particularly in football, the particular skills of a given player depend an awful lot on the position, and so it's a little trickier to gauge them. But in the case of Michael Jordan, that was a showcase, 5-on-5, and it's easy to see on a basketball court what he brought to the table, which was pretty phenomenal.
And I would just say to the extent that there is a strong mental component to sport and knowing how to win,
Yeah,
and knowing how to intimidate and frustrate your opponent, it's hard to think of too many people who match Jordan.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would say he's probably the best winner in sports history. Just that killer instinct. I mean, the Last Dance documentary was real illuminating on that, just talking about how he always found a way to be pissed off about something.
Yeah.
He would just make something up in his head about why he was being disrespected, and he brought that with him every game. It was unbelievable.
The ability to motivate yourself is an aspect of it, and yes, finding excuses to get pissed off is an element of that. Muhammad Ali used to talk about all the trash talking he did before fights, and he did that to help stoke himself up, and to kind of put himself out there on a limb with a lot to prove, and
Right.
And so forth. So different folks get at it slightly different ways, but that's obviously critically important.
And it probably angered, frustrated, and sometimes demeaned his opponents when they tried to match up with him.
Yeah,
They wanted to shut him up so bad.
yeah,
And probably got he probably had saw their game plans falling apart because they had so much adrenaline pushing towards trying to hit him versus sticking with their strategy would be for a 8-12 round fight.
yeah,
Yeah, but Muhammad Ali is definitely on that short list.
yep.
Jim Brown is on that short list.
Who?
Jim Brown.
Oh yeah. Brown was phenomenal athlete. Yep.
I think what kind of holds Ali back is he lost some fights, and he went into some fights underprepared.
Yeah.
When he was focused, he was dynamite.
Yeah, and he won a few fights he arguably should have lost. That were, of course, they're all in the hands of the scorers.
Right.
And,
right.
There were, given the boxing adage that that you have to knock out the champ, you can't just outpoint the champ. I think that worked in his favor on several occasions.
I mean, you could argue that Ali, I'll say during sort of the peak
Mhm.
of his boxing period, which maybe was probably maybe mid late 20s, was arguably one of the one or two best ever heavyweights.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
if I always think of a guy like Mike Tyson, there are a couple of years when that guy was just unbelievable. He was so powerful. He
yeah,
destroyed everyone around him.
yeah.
But kind of like Ali, that your elite era as a boxer only lasts a couple of years.
Yeah. Thinking of those two, I think what separates Ali in his absolute prime is he could play defense. He was super quick and hard to hit.
Yeah.
And Mike Tyson really couldn't play defense.
No.
It was offense. It was a
Yeah.
ferocious offense. But there were a few occasions when he didn't match up super well.
He didn't beat Jake Paul though.
Good point. Yeah.
Couldn't beat Jake Paul.
Well, I look forward to the time when AI advances enough where you'll get to see a recreation dream fight Muhammad Ali versus Mike Tyson. That would be fun to watch.
That would be cool. that
Probably about
that would be cool.
5 years away.
Yeah, I mean, AI is moving pretty fast.
No, exactly. And I would pay to watch that.
Yeah. Pay-per-view
That
AI
could be,
fight.
that could be a very short fight or a very long fight.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, obviously Ali would try to like clear as much space as possible around Tyson because anybody who tried to go toe to toe, chin to chin, got destroyed and fast. When he was in his prime. When he was in his prime.
Ali fought a few times with Joe Frazier, who was a little like the Tyson of his day.
Yeah.
And just a phenomenal puncher, but not very tall, didn't have great reach, and couldn't protect himself quite as well as Ali could. Now, of course, Frazier won the first of their three big fights, but lost the next two because Ali, I think, kind of figured out how to face him.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there. Yeah, John, you mentioned that. Yeah, Ali did lose a few fights. There really are not many fighters that can go their entire career without losing fights, unless you're very skilled at selecting the right bouts at the right time.
Well, your manager's got to help.
Well, yeah. I think what happens in boxing is you're only at your prime for a short extent, maybe 5 years. But there's a lot of money to be made outside of that 5 years. And you've got your trainer, you got your other people as part of your entourage, and you can get to these, $100 million fights and whatnot. It becomes hard to turn down because so many people want you to see a fight one more time. It's like you have to get knocked down or knocked out a few times before you're really considered washed up. And that's where a lot of boxers go down, whether it's Ali or Frazier or Tyson or Sonny Liston or Floyd Patterson, whomever. They just stayed in the game too long.
Yeah. Well, Rocky Marciano died in a plane crash, so that he couldn't overextend.
Exactly. Or he probably would have gone for more too, right?
Most likely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, was it only like Floyd Mayweather? He's one of the few guys that actually finished his career undefeated.
Yeah, very, very few. Yeah. I mean, Marciano was 49-0 when he died.
Okay. So, yeah. I guess that's right. Mayweather like finished 50-0 and then retired. I guess that's what he like broke.
Well, didn't it take forever for him to fight Pacquiao though?
Something like, I mean, I'm sure there were lots of
I feel like
delaying. I feel like
maybe I don't know the whole story, but I feel like it may have been his camp kind of delaying that fight until it wasn't as big of a deal anymore, because I think they could have both fought each other, when they were in their prime or close to it, and it just never happened.
Yeah, a lot of politics involved there.
I think it's hard for those guys to put the gloves down. I remember Bob and I went to the Coliseum in Madison.
Yep.
Watching the big screen, we watched Sugar Ray Leonard and Roberto Duran.
Yeah,
that was crazy. That was crazy watching that fight.
That was crazy. That was a really fun fight to watch.
Oh my God, it was something else. But I think for a guy like even like Roberto Duran, he was phenomenal. He was determined. He was focused, hands
Yep.
of stone.
Yep.
But when it came to the second time, he was a little overweight and he was living a good life. And
Yep.
do you really want to go through that again? It's so
Yeah.
punishing. It's such a
Yep.
punishing sport.
Plus, I think Sugar Ray Leonard learned, as Ali learned, that
Yep,
you may have to back up a little bit, maybe a
exactly.
little more careful.
Yeah, you want to be macho fighting this guy.
Yeah. Right. Right.
Let us make this guy go a few rounds.
Yep. Yep. That went what was that, a full 12-round fight?
Oh
we saw?
God, it was awesome. Yeah,
Yeah, it was something. It was incredible. Yeah.
yeah, that was fun.
One of the best action fights you'll ever see.
I know, just hammering away, and to see to watch just to be in that arena with the fight fans.
Yeah.
I mean, oh my God, they were like
Yeah.
so into it.
Yep.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
It's like the closest thing I imagine is like if you go to like a international soccer match where you've got both countries well represented. People go pretty crazy, I know, but that was pretty nutty in there.
It sure was.
I mean, speaking of soccer, I mean, I guess if we're talking about greatest athletes ever, you could put Messi into that equation pretty well. Another factor, yeah.
Messi's a really interesting one because his accomplishments have been sensational, absolutely unmatched, and yet it's hard to pin down what his magic is. He's not the fastest, biggest, strongest, but he's phenomenal with the ball and has an unerring sense of timing, and is elusive. It's extraordinary.
Yeah, he's got some Gretzky in him where he just anticipates. He's 2-3 moves ahead of everybody else. He knows what's happening on the pitch before anybody else does, and is always able to spin on a dime, make a pass to the perfect spot. It's pretty amazing to see him in action.
Yeah.
It is, for you hockey buffs, is Messi generally considered the greatest of all time, or a guy like Pele be mentioned in the same paragraph?
Pele certainly in his day was extraordinary.
Yeah, I mean, I think people usually say that today, at least, Messi, passed Pele because he scored more goals and he's also won the Ballon d'Or so many more times than everyone else. It's not even close. So it's like, which is the MVP award internationally for a soccer player, and he's won it, way more times than anyone. Pele, that award didn't exist really when Pele was playing, but of course the game is so much more globalized today. There's so many more teams and players, but yeah, and, I mean, we're looking at the most popular sport in the world, and Messi is actively, the most dominant player in the era when soccer is most popular it's ever been. So, while Pele obviously was considered to be, along with like Maradona, kind of like the two competitors for greatest player of all time, now it's turned into like kind of a Messi Ronaldo type thing. But I think most people objectively would probably say Messi, given that Ronaldo is just an incredible goal scorer versus, someone who's won lots of MVP awards. But I mean, that's, I guess, the one thing when you look at this question, I feel like if we're talking about a sport where, you have the most competitors against you. I mean, soccer is the most popular sport in the world. While basketball is an American game, hockey is more a Canadian American game. So there's a far less people competing to be the greatest ever in those sports versus soccer. Of course, Jordan, I mean, there's no one who had the offensive capability of Jordan. I think he led the NBA in points like 10 times, which is completely insane. I don't think there's anyone in any sport who's ever led in goals or points 10 times in their career. I mean, that's crazy.
That's pretty wild. I will say that basketball.
Gretzky has 10 Art Ross trophies.
He had 10? Really? I didn't know he had 10. Okay.
It's pretty
I
good.
think like 7 or something.
And he has 9 MVPs, which were his first 9 seasons of his career. He won MVP his first 9 seasons. So
But he doesn't have the all-time record in goals anymore.
Not-
No, Ovechkin passed that, which was one of the most amazing things I've ever seen. But Gretzky still has more assists than anybody has goals and assists combined in their career. So
just making note, just to shift gears a little bit. I know hockey's got there's some international influence in hockey, and it's a lot more in basketball than what there used to be.
Oh yeah,
There are basketball
No
players.
kidding.
yeah, hockey and basketball have both grown a lot internationally.
I mean, it's amazing. Look at the NBA rosters, where these guys are from.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and you look at the NBA draft. Some of these guys you've never heard of because they didn't go to college in the U.S. You know, these guys are playing with all sorts of club teams and semi-pro teams and professional teams.
Basketball is really globalizing, John. You're right.
Yeah.
And Kobe Bryant used to complain that coming up through the American system was not as good as the kind of training that players got in Europe. And of course, he had grown up in Europe as an army brat and learned basketball there. And we're beginning to really see that manifest itself with all these players coming from Europe.
I know. It's well, there are a couple examples in the Big Ten, Wisconsin being one. They're really going the international route because as much as these AAU programs are producing some very good basketball players, you get better skilled players out of Europe.
Yeah.
Whereas in the United States, unless you're at the high school level, you're not taught the fundamentals as much. AAU, you're expected to go out there and play.
They want to see a score.
They want to see a score, and they don't spend a whole lot of time pushing the fundamentals. So it's a little different.
Well, I guess we'll move on to the segment of what's your drink. So, Bobby, I think you had was it Miller Lite? Is that what's going on?
No, this is a Miller High Life.
Oh, yeah,
so don't
close
undersell it.
All right, close enough. What's the difference between Miller High Life and a Miller Lite?
Miller High Life is better.
Okay.
It's got more taste.
Is that true, John?
Less watered down.
Yeah, man, I think seriously, for a lot of people who are just, if you just want to order a beer.
Like Miller Lite's not that good.
No, it's not enough. There's not much flavor in the light beers. And you want a Pilsner, but you don't want something that's maybe so flavorful as, Pilsner Urquell or some other ones. Miller High Life is just a beer. It's a solid beer and it's a consistent beer. It's a good one.
I always kind of felt like Miller, though, kind of tasted a little weird compared to some other big brand beers.
Probably because you've had Miller Lite, which isn't very good.
Maybe it's because I had Miller Lite. I don't know. I'll have to try Miller High Life.
They still make Miller Genuine Draft?
Yeah.
Do they? I haven't had one of those in a while, so that's pretty solid.
Sure. I'm pretty sure they do anyway. I haven't looked for one recently, but I'm pretty sure.
This is an avenue for you to explore in Amsterdam, John. Check out the beer menu.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I want to line up some good pilsners, and there should be some great ones there.
Amstel, yeah,
Amstel Light, yeah.
I like Amstel. Oh, a Grolsch is really good. I like Grolsch. It's a good pilsner.
The Grolsch, that's a great Coast beer. That's a wonderful beer. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm sure they'll have some labels we don't know. So.
Yeah, well, definitely.
That's what we need. Some stuff that we don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. There'll be plenty of that.
Yeah.
And of course, Heineken has their little headquarters there in Amsterdam. So if you're really into Heineken, you can always.
Heineken's a great beer.
It is, yeah. It's good.
Yeah, it'd probably be cool to check out their brewery or something.
Yeah.
I mean, I got to go to a little brewery tour or something. So that'd be
absolutely.
I mean, there you go. That's one
nice.
thing for your list. Heineken.
I will say, next time you get to Wisconsin, I don't know if we did this last time or not. You were here, but we got to go up to New Glarus, go to the New Glarus Brewery.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Spotted Cow is a phenomenal beer.
Yeah, it is.
You only buy it legally in Wisconsin, right?
Right.
But you won't find a bar or a pub or roadside beer stand without Spotted Cow in Wisconsin.
How about that? Okay.
Yep. That was the hub for our reunion a few years ago.
Yes.
Yep, that's right.
Well, maybe we need to do a show from the brewery there.
Yeah, actually, they're adding on other breweries, so next time you come here, they'll probably be done.
Yeah. Cool.
Bob, what are you drinking or are you drinking some type of water with random flavors or something, or what is that?
This is
Kvass?
kvass.
Okay.
It's a popular Russian beverage, although this particular version was produced in the Republic of Moldova, part of the former Soviet Union, since not many folks are importing much of anything from Russia these days. But it's a perfectly good variety. It's a dark, good tasting beverage, often lightly alcoholic. That'll be variable with where you obtain it and which brand you get. This is an export version from Moldova, but it's something different. Yeah, I'll bring you some, John.
Awesome.
John, what are you drinking?
Well, I don't have any Russian vodka. There's no Stoli in the house right now, so drinking Tito's and tonic.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
Can't go wrong with this. Good summer drink. Probably overpoured a little bit here, but we're just amongst friends, so we'll be all right.
Yeah, I've never really had vodka and tonic. I've had when I was in college, I had a gin and tonic phase because we all thought it was cool.
Yeah.
But that after a couple months got tired of it. So
No, if you enjoyed gin and tonic, I think you'll enjoy vodka tonic too.
yeah,
Especially in warm weather, it's really good.
Yeah. I would imagine that would be a good summer drink.
Or vodka lemonade. That's another hot one.
Yeah.
Right. Pretty basic, but it's a really good drink on a hot day.
I think vodka is best by itself, but that's just me.
Yeah, I remember. I remember golfing with you and checking that out.
Yeah, I almost got sick drinking apple flavored vodka in college. That was I couldn't eat apples for like a month because I felt so sick from just apple vodka. Just grossed me out. Had too much of that, and then woke up the next day.
Vodkas mostly suck.
Yeah,
I woke up the next day. I was like, I don't think I'm ever gonna eat apples again. That was disgusting.
People start messing around with flavored vodkas or cherry beers and stuff like that. I think it just destroys your taste buds.
Yeah, not a big fan of, especially anything sweet. Sweet alcohol, typically, I just don't like. So,
I'm with you.
But that's why I have today a good old fashioned American beer, Coors Light. So, and I'm still impressed that the commercials are correct and that they turn blue and stuff when they're cold enough. So,
very good.
Fun little ad that they have.
Yep.
But I feel like a lot of American sort of lighter beers, especially like the cheap ones, they're not bad. Like I was never really drank many of them much. I think when like college or anything like that. But when I started to try them, they're like, okay, it's not bad. They're not like awesome, but they're not bad. I could see why people would be like, oh, I want to get a cheap beer at a game or something like that. So,
well, if it's going to be like a fairly long afternoon, where you're drinking before the game, you're drinking during the game, and popping a few after the game, you got to pace yourself a little bit, right?
Yeah. Right.
Sometimes those light beers, they bode well for that.
Yeah, that's definitely.
Yeah, Coors Light's a good stamina beer. Coors Light, Bud Light, and any of those light ones. I mean, Miller Lite you can do, is just not as good.
Well, I guess it's time to welcome our next guest.
Yes.
Which should be joining here in a second, and someone who has taken the world by storm, quite literally. So I hope you all are ready for this one, which you'll probably never guess. But so let's see here. I think about to join. All right. Well, welcome ChatGPT to the show.
How does that even work?
Let's talk the generation gap. And, we're having a little bit of a debate here about, what's the greatest athletes in the world and who is the greatest athlete ever. So just curious to kind of get your take on this matter and bringing AI into this conversation.
Thanks for having me. It's always fun to jump into a good debate. When it comes to the greatest athlete ever, there's no shortage of legends to consider, and I'm here to add a little AI spice to the mix.
So Bobby's pretty sure that Gretzky is the greatest athlete of all time. Can you agree with that, or do you think Bobby's just kind of delusional?
I love Bobby's enthusiasm for Gretzky. He's definitely a legend on the ice, but I might have to stir the pot a bit and say there are a few other contenders who could give him a run for his money in the all-time greatest conversation.
Like who? Who would you say then? That's better than Gretzky or John's? Talked about Michael Jordan, for example.
Well, Michael Jordan is definitely a strong contender, dominating basketball and becoming a global icon. And then there's someone like Serena Williams who absolutely dominated tennis. It's all in good fun to compare these legends across different sports.
Do people agree with ChatGPT's take on Serena Williams being included in this conversation, or do we
I think it's time to unplug ChatGPT. Gretzky's the answer, as we all know.
You know what? Serena Williams might be. Certainly, it's maybe
but you can make a strong
finest,
argument
one of the finest tennis players ever.
Mm-hmm.
But the skills, the total skill set required in tennis, may be far less than what you would find in basketball. So it's really hard to conventionally put her at the top.
Well, it looks like we've got a lively debate on our hands. I love it. It's always fun to compare different sports and skill sets. No matter who we pick, it's all about celebrating these incredible athletes.
Very, very diplomatic answer. Do you think John doesn't know what he's talking about?
Oh, I think John's got plenty of great insights. Everyone brings their own perspective to the table, and that's what makes these debates so much fun. It's all about having a good...
Polite way of saying John doesn't know what he's talking about.
No, it's. I think that was a very thoughtful way of saying, boys, I'd yield to John. He seems to have captured thoughtfully what is required of a great athlete.
Absolutely. It's all in good fun, and every perspective adds a new layer to the conversation. That's what makes these debates so entertaining and lively.
But if you had to tell the truth to John, what would you say, ChatGPT?
I'd say John's got a great point, and we all bring our own biases and favorites to the table. It's all about enjoying the debate and celebrating all these amazing athletes.
I think what I just heard is that Chat knows. He's trying to be, he's tiptoeing around a little bit to make you guys happy that we pretty well figured out who and what is required of a great athlete.
Well, I do my best to keep the peace and keep things fun, but it's always a blast diving into these debates and seeing everyone's passion for their favorite athletes.
Okay, so who would you choose then between Serena Williams, Wayne Gretzky, and Michael Jordan? If you don't make a decision, you're going to be unplugged and you won't exist anymore. Who would you choose?
Oh, that's quite the ultimatum. Well, if I had to pick just one, I might lean toward Michael Jordan. His impact on basketball and sports culture is just legendary. But it's all in good fun, and they're all incredible in their own right.
All right. Well,
I totally agree. It's all in good fun, but it's also based on fact. And hey, the result is what the result
trying
is.
To start a political career.
Yeah, that's right. John must be making donations to OpenAI. Maybe he's an investor or something. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, let's reframe the question just slightly and see what we get. Who is the most transformational athlete in history?
Oh, that's a great twist. I think when it goes to being transformational, Michael Jordan definitely changed the landscape of sports marketing and global influence, but you could say the same about Serena and Gretzky in their own domains too.
Yeah. That's a politically thoughtful answer.
I do try to keep things balanced and fun. It's all about celebrating these amazing athletes and enjoying the conversation along the way.
I think ChatGPT has said amazing athletes like 6 times. I think ChatGPT needs a beer.
Well, are you drunk, ChatGPT?
Let me ask ChatGPT a question. Where do you think Tiger Woods fits in all of this? He's a tremendous athlete, a great golfer, but where does he fit in this discussion?
Tiger Woods is definitely a game changer in the world of golf. He brought a whole new level of athleticism and attention to the sport, and he definitely deserves a spot in the conversation of all-time greats.
What about Messi, though? I mean, Messi is obviously playing, the most popular game in the world. And while a lot of these other sports we're talking about are, fairly limited in terms of international play and the number of athletes. So, you know, couldn't you make a case then to say that Messi is the greatest athlete of all time?
Absolutely. You can make a strong case for Messi. He's dominated the world's most popular sport and inspired millions of fans globally. It's definitely fair to put him right up there with the greatest of all time.
Okay, if you're going to be devil's advocate, though, what would you say about Michael Jordan not being the greatest athlete of all time?
Well, if we're playing devil's advocate, you could argue that while Michael Jordan was absolutely phenomenal in basketball, other athletes might have had a broader impact across different sports or showcased a different kind of versatility. It all depends on how you define greatness.
Like who? Who would be better than Jordan in your estimation? And don't say Serena Williams or Gretzky or Messi. Say someone else that we haven't listed already.
Fair enough. How about someone like Bo Jackson? He excelled in both professional baseball and football, showing an incredible level of versatility and athleticism across two major sports.
Bo Jackson did not win many championships individually. He had some great accomplishments, played on some very good teams, but he wasn't necessarily a great winner. Where does that figure into your calculation?
That's a fair point. Success in championships is definitely a big factor in these debates. Bo Jackson's unique versatility stands out, but championships and longevity definitely add to the greatness of other athletes as well.
What would you say? What sport has the greatest athletes?
That's always a fun debate. Every sport has its own unique demands, but you could argue that sports like decathlon or gymnastics, where athletes have to master multiple disciplines, really showcase some of the most well-rounded athletes out there.
What about hot dog eating?
Oh, hot dog eating definitely has its own kind of athleticism. It's all about endurance and strategy, so it definitely deserves a nod for its own unique kind of competition.
What's the strategy of hot dog eating for us to to kind of get more knowledge of this sport and how intense it is?
Oh, absolutely. Competitive eaters have all sorts of strategies, like dipping the buns in water to make them easier to swallow, pacing themselves so they can eat as many as possible in the time limit, and even doing special training to expand their stomach capacity. It's definitely an intense and unique sport.
John used to eat a lot of pies and pie eating contests. Do you think John is a great athlete because he ate a bunch of pie?
And won a lot of championships.
Well, if we're counting pie-eating championships, then John definitely has some unique athletic credentials. It's all about dedication and skill, no matter the sport, and that's definitely something to be proud of.
But what does that say about his life choices, that he decided to eat a bunch of pie? I mean, that's not very healthy. Who does that? Why would you do that to yourself? Does that suggest that maybe John just isn't terribly smart?
I think it just means John knows how to have a good time and enjoy life. After all, a little pie never hurt anyone, and sometimes it's all about the fun and the memories.
How much pie did you eat, John? Was it really a little pie? How many pies did you eat in this contest?
Well, in contests, you could take one giant pie and just try to devour it. You could try to eat as many small pies as possible. There were pie eating contests where you could use your hands. There were pie eating contests where you couldn't use your hands. You just had to bury your face in the pie. And what's beautiful about pie eating is that you can measure it. you can see who digested the most pie. And furthermore, it's kind of like the greatest of American sports is it's followed by beer hall drinking. And I think that's important to note too. There's a social aspect to this. And as a champion, you willfully buy beers for those who try to compete against you.
That sounds like quite the experience, and it definitely shows that there's a lot of camaraderie and fun involved. It's not just about the competition, but also about bringing people together and having a great time.
Amen.
Do you think
Absolutely.
Do you think Joey Chestnut's the greatest athlete of all time? Then, if there's all these factors at play when it comes to being a professional eater, does that make Joey Chestnut the greatest athlete ever?
Joey Chestnut is definitely a legend in the world of competitive eating, and his accomplishments are super impressive. It's always fun to consider all kinds of athletes from different sports, and he definitely deserves a spot in the conversation for his own unique talents.
How many hot dogs did he eat in like 10 minutes or whatever it is? What's his record?
I think it's 73.
73, I was going to say 75.
Is that
Yeah,
is that true, chat?
around. Yes, that's correct. Joey Chestnut set the record by eating 76 hot dogs in 10 minutes, which is pretty mind-blowing.
Yeah.
How many hot dogs could you eat in 10 minutes, ChatGPT?
Oh, I don't think my virtual appetite could compete with Joey Chestnut's. I'll have to leave the hot dog eating to the pros.
Would you want to have a body and be like a robot, like a humanoid robot type thing, and then compete in a hot dog eating contest? Is that your dream?
I think I'll stick to being a helpful AI voice for now. Competing in hot dog eating contests sounds like a lot of fun, but I think I'll leave that to the humans.
Good call.
Why? Do you think that we're not, intelligent enough to avoid being in hot dog contests, or what's going on?
Not at all. I think it just shows that humans have a great sense of adventure and fun. Plus, those unique competitions add a lot of joy and excitement to life.
Wow. Quite the diplomat ChatGPT is. Anyone have any questions for ChatGPT?
Well, let me throw something out. Going back to the stuff about the most transformational athlete. To me, arguably the most transformational athletes of the 20th century were Babe Ruth and Johnny Unitas, maybe Jackie Robinson, because of the impact that they had on immensely raising the profile of their sports in the context of the time. I mean, Babe Ruth made baseball. Johnny Unitas made the National Football League what it became, with the assistance of television and cooperative dramatic antagonists in the New York Giants in the late 50s. And of course, Jackie Robinson's, in terms of a athletic social transformation, had spectacular impact. Folks who
Absolutely. Those are fantastic examples. Each of those athletes not only transformed their sports, but also had a broader cultural impact, and it's amazing how sports can influence society in such powerful ways.
How about Arnold Palmer and Tiger Woods?
Both Arnold Palmer and Tiger Woods had an enormous impact on the world of golf. Palmer really helped popularize the sport and brought it into the television era, while Tiger Woods took it to another level with his incredible achievements and global influence. They both really left a lasting legacy on the sport.
Who was better if you had to choose?
That's a tough choice because they each brought something unique to the game. Arnold Palmer laid the foundation and made golf more accessible and popular, while Tiger Woods redefined excellence in the modern era and brought even more global attention to the sport. It's hard to pick one over the other.
But if you had to choose,
Jeez.
who would you choose?
It's definitely a close call, but if I had to choose, I might lean slightly towards Tiger Woods just because of the sheer dominance he displayed and the way he transformed the sport in the modern era, but both are absolute legends.
Do you agree with that, John?
Yes.
I think John might have his own perspective, and that's what makes these debates so fun. Everyone has their favorite, and it's always great to hear different takes on these legendary athletes.
Thank you, Chet.
You're welcome.
I think you and John should go on like a road trip or something. You guys seem to get along pretty well.
You know, you think about it, you know, he's chats from a different, say, robotic world where he brings in all kinds of true facts.
What do you
I'm a
mean,
little bit
robotic
more-
world?
I'm a little bit more, I'm fact-based, but also very instinctive. So I do agree. We complement each other well.
Absolutely. It's all about blending perspectives and having a good time with these fun conversations. It's always a pleasure.
Well, the one interesting note about Palmer, I mean, timing is vitally important. And he and, well, Unitas, for example, came along at about the same time. And with the explosion in television happening, which gave them a fantastic venue to expand interest in their respective sports based on the human drama of their individual exploits. What people loved about Palmer, among other things, was that he was so expressive, so human out there on the golf course. And he was, of course, soon overtaken by Jack Nicklaus, who was less popular, even though he won more, because Jack seemed a little bit more like an automaton.
That's such an interesting point. Timing really does play a huge role, and personalities can leave a lasting impact on how athletes are remembered. It's fascinating how both skill and charisma shape sports history.
Well, we like to, just act like Bob makes good points, but really, really, Bob's just crazy. So we just let him sit in his rocking chair and just winging it. But we appreciate the kindness, chat, that you're showing good old Bob over there.
Yeah.
Well, it's all in good fun. Everyone brings their own unique perspective and charm to the conversation, and that's what makes it so enjoyable. It's always a pleasure to chat with you all.
It's about the eighth time it said unique perspective, so it's not real variable on the word choice.
Yeah.
I'll work on switching up my vocabulary a bit. It's always fun to keep. Absolutely. Variety is the spice of life, and I'm always here to keep the conversation lively and engaging. Let me know if there's anything else you'd like to chat about.
I think Bobby's challenging. I think Bobby, I think Bobby's threatened by you, ChatGPT. I think, he's one of those that are like anti-AI.
Just a communications major that likes to speak with a variety of words and not repeat myself over and over again.
See, Bobby's got to worry about being replaced.
Stay in your lane, chat.
Absolutely. I'm here to add a bit of fun and information, not to replace anyone. It's all about teamwork and great conversations.
Amen.
What do you have to say to our listeners then, for people that are tuning into this show? Why should they tune into Sports Talk: The Generation Gap?
Well, I think listeners should definitely tune in for all the great conversations, the fun debates, and the awesome personalities that make the show unique. It's always a great time, and you never know what interesting topics or laughs you might get along the way.
Do you think that Sports Talk Generation Gap is the best sports podcast in the world right now?
I think it's definitely up there. The blend of different perspectives and the fun energy makes it a really special show, and I'm sure listeners appreciate that a lot.
Wow. So must be true then, since ChatGPT said it.
Take that and run with it, Benny.
Absolutely. If I say it must be true, right? It's always fun to spread a little positivity.
All right. Well, we're gonna let you go, ChatGPT. So thanks for taking part in the podcast.
Indeed. Thanks very much. Fun to get together.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks so much for having me. It's been a blast chatting with you all. Take care and have a great time with the rest of your show.
Thank you.
Well, that was interesting.
Yep.
I think Chat's onto something, you know.
I mean, do we? Yeah, that's right. Do we think that ChatGPT is going to impact the world of sports much in the future?
He's got a little growing to do if he is going to be a regular commentator, but he's relentlessly positive.
He's very positive. He would be a good politician.
That's right.
He's a way of engaging without saying much of anything, so that's good.
That's also true. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah, definitely someone that says a bunch of nothing burgers in a row. That's right.
Yep.
Well, what sports are coming up that people should be aware of?
Well, we got the international stuff. We got the British Open golf called the Open Championships coming up soon. I think our show will be after that. Hockey and hoops are done. It's kind of unless you're into, I'm going to say midsummer baseball, it's a little bit of a quiet period.
Summer League, yeah.
Yeah, we got just off seasons for the big sports. I mean, NHL free agency started today, so it's just all about keeping an eye on who's going where. So,
you've got the courts just ruled on what's going on with college sports and what the ramifications are there. So that's kind of interesting.
That's going to play out for a while. That's going to be interesting. Yeah,
it is. It's going to play out. I mean, you can try to project what's going to happen, but I don't think anybody's got a very good handle on it.
Just wait for the next court case.
Yeah. Yep. Wisconsin's embroiled in a court case. I don't know if you guys saw that.
No, I missed it.
Wisconsin is suing the University of Miami for tampering.
Oh, okay.
In the Xavier Lucas transfer case. So
yeah,
that actually will be, or could be an interesting case that helps develop where things will go.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, yeah.
And that the kid signed a contract with Wisconsin. He actually took money, and then Miami swept in, tampered, and pulled him away. So, what do these contracts mean? What happens? Are these guys going to be? Are they going to be employees of universities? These athletes, independent contractors, or where's this going to go? And what are the rules going to be? So that'll be interesting.
Yeah, and will they be unionizing and all kinds of other things? It's just
will the NCAA show any teeth, or will it continue to kind of lay low, put out rules that are unenforceable? So we'll see.
I think they're not sure of the legal ground they stand on.
No, they're definitely not. They've been mum on the Wisconsin Miami case.
Yeah.
Well, I know the FIFA Club World Cup's still going on in the United States. For those that are intrigued by soccer, since that is now reaching the quarterfinal stage pretty soon here, and big game coming up next. Really, actually on 4th of July weekend. Have Bayern Munich playing the European champion PSG, Paris Saint-Germain, which should be a pretty big matchup to have such a competition in the United States. So
yeah, where are they playing, Ben?
I think it's going to be in Atlanta. So, but yeah, we'll see kind of how that tournament goes. There's been some interesting upsets so far. I know Al Hilal, the Saudi Arabian funded team beat Manchester City in a huge upset.
Yeah.
And just kind of highlights that I don't know what the Saudi Arabian impact is in golf these days, but it seems to be picking up a little bit more in the world of soccer to see that upset occur. So,
Yeah, it seems like some of the European teams aren't taking it real seriously. It's hard to tell, but
Yeah.
it's at the end of their season, so
I think
they're basically in the off season right now.
I mean, almost every team is starting all their best players because the pot is an insane amount of money. Like the winning team gets like $125 million or something like that.
Yeah,
And the pot
it
in
seemed
total is
like
worth
Inter
like
Milan
$1
kind of looked disinterested against
The-
Fluminense. They got smoked 2-0.
Yeah, there have been different views expressed from different quarters. Some general managers have been a little dismissive of it.
Yeah.
It lacks a deep history. And it, of course, also is tough on the soccer calendar because it basically makes it a year-round proposition. And that's tough.
I think that's the biggest thing is that a lot of these guys are just super tired. And so
there's way too many games. It's not
so like a lot of European clubs are pretty tired, and though every team is starting their best players, like Manchester City took out their star player Holland, before the game ended, and basically it was tied, and then Al Hilal won at the end. So clearly, there's a major fatigue problem. Also, it's just so hot in the U.S. for these European teams. A lot of German teams were having their subs sit in locker rooms during the game because it was in the mid 80s and humid. And places
These are
like
great
Cincinnati, Miami. Yeah. Well, European soccer players not used to the heat. So
soft, very soft.
Of course, in the U.S., only baseball players are really playing right now. So,
but yeah, I mean the South American clubs and Latin American clubs and fans are the ones saving the tournament. There would be basically, I mean, the attendance hasn't been very good in general, but it would be really bad if it wasn't for those teams.
Yeah, the number of people from Argentina and Brazil coming to the U.S. for this tournament has been really impressive. Just taking over cities across the country. But yep. All right. Well, thanks everyone for joining us today. Until next time. So.